True Light Yoga, coming at you live from Lake Tahoe. We're going to be doing an all levels of vinyasa flow this morning to warm your body up for hiking or whatever it is that you're doing today, maybe surfing if you're back home in New Jersey. It's September and back at home in New Jersey where I'm from, we've been surfing some big waves, and it's that time of year with big hurricane swell. And I always like to do a little Dharma talk for my yoga instruction, or kind of have a mental focus as well as a physical focus, because we know that the practice is very much a mind-body thing. It's not just for our physical body. And so I'm going to lend you this little story today about when I used to lifeguard on the beach in Margate, and it was September, and it was this big hurricane swell. And no one was supposed to be out swimming, but the lifeguards were like, we're going to go out and we're going to send it. And we all went out swimming to go body surfing. And a friend of mine who was on the beach patrol, who actually was a man that I struggled with a bit, kind of broke my heart, said, here, Rachel, you should take a lifeguard can, which is like that flotation device, like the Baywatch thing. And I said, okay, fine. And I took the flotation device and I went out swimming with my friend. And we started down beach because the current was so strongly moving down towards the pier, and we thought we could swim out past the pier by the time we got to it. And it was moving way faster than we thought. My friend was kind of behind me a little bit, and I started waiting for her, and I realized that we're gonna shoot the pier, which means we're gonna float right in between the pier, which is pretty dangerous in hurricane swell. So we got to the pier, and of course the can that I was using to help me got wrapped around a piling of the pier, and I could not get it undone. I was kicking it and trying to push it out, and the waves kept coming and wrapping it around, and I kept getting pushed under, and I'd come up for a breath and get pushed under. And I realized that I was stuck, and I started having these thoughts of panic, like, I'm gonna die here. And I imagine a headline like, Margate lifeguard dies in hurricane swell. And I was so afraid, and I didn't know what to do. It was the time in the ocean that I've ever felt, that way, like fearing for my life. And suddenly it dawned on me that I could just take off the can. Like, it's on me with like a shoulder strap, and I could just take it off and swim away. I'd get yelled at for losing the lifeguard can, but it's not worth my life, so I took it off. And the moment that I took it off and my body wasn't holding on to it, it itself just kind of dislodged and got loose enough to float away. So I grabbed onto it and floated into shore. And whenever I tell that story or I think of it, it just reminds me of all the things that we carry that might even help us float for a while. They might even help us to survive. But after a while, sometimes they don't serve us anymore, and they start to hold us down. This could be like a belief that you were born with, like, I'm shy, or I need to do everything for everybody else in order to feel valued, or my body is weak and I can't. It keeps you safe for a certain amount of time, and then it starts to limit us and get in our way and hold us down. And we can just take it off. It could be this victim mentality, or bad things always happen to me, and for a little while it protects me because I'm prepared for whatever bad thing is going to happen to me. But then after a while, it doesn't feel good to be that victim anymore, and we can just take it off. And that might sound a little bit like an oversimplification. Sometimes core beliefs and mental constructs, they are deeply ingrained in us, and it's not super easy to just take it off. But I want you to try it on during your practice today. So as we start to put ourselves in uncomfortable positions on the mat, our beach towel, and you notice what the mind does, and if it struggles, and the stories that it tells you about what it is and is not capable of doing, I want you to notice and sometimes just ask yourself if you want to continue with that story, or if you want to just take it off. And then you can adjust from there. Even if it's just distracting thoughts, like away from what it is that you're doing, let this time be for you, that you chose for yourself. And every time you redirect your mind back to your breath, you're strengthening that mindfulness muscle, and you're creating new patterns in your brain that will help you to stay present when you're off of your mat. So we'll get started with that, connecting to the breath. You can just come onto your back, just lie down on your back in Shavasana on your yoga mat or whatever you're practicing from. And let's just all together bring the feet in and the knees wide, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. And we'll take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Just taking in the environment in around you. Deep breath in and exhale. And more like that. Deep breath in and sigh it out. And then start to bring the breath in and out your nose. Thoughts intruding on your breath, just notice the quality of those thoughts. Positive, are they negative, are they a feeling, or are they a fact? Are they past or are they future? And try your best to root yourself down in this moment with your body. Take 5 more of the deepest breaths that you've taken yet today. Seeing if you can bring the quality of your breath down into your lower belly, so it's not just up in your chest and your throat and your accessory muscles, but you're getting deep into the breath, filling up fully with the lungs. Slowly start to bring your feet together on the mat and release that hip stretch. Let your knees fall in towards one another. Hands can stay in your belly, and you're going to continue to breathe. And just notice as you started to get quiet and pay attention to your breath, how the mind responded. You might be very used to it. You might not be very used to it. Just observe. And with this quiet, still lake behind us, we're going to try to let the mind become more like this still lake rather than the chaotic hurricane ocean. You may have noticed that when you came originally to your mat, if your thoughts were waves, they were crashing all over, they were coming nonstop. Now, it's starting to resemble a little bit more of a lake, maybe not as still as Lake Tahoe behind me. But sometimes it's helpful to create one thought as a little ripple and continue with just letting that thought repeat, so that all of the thoughts and the ripples are going in one direction and they're soft and calm, rather than a bunch of thoughts going in all kinds of different directions. So choose one thought for your practice today that's going to help you to take that can off, whatever it is for you. It might be, I love my life, or I am strong. And just repeat that with your breath. Inhale thoughts start to interrupt, get in the way, you can just come back to that mantra. Stay steady in your breath. Stay steady with that one ripple. And then from here, slowly start to bring your left foot in, straighten out your right leg above you. Get a big hamstring stretch as you start to lift your head and your neck towards your leg. Point through the toes, flex through the toes. Again, we'll point through the toes, stretching the front of the ankle and leg, and then we'll flex through the toes, stretching the back of the leg. You can let your head and neck relax down and just make some little circles here. And circle in the opposite direction with your ankle. But slowly start to guide your right knee over your left thigh, getting an IT band stretch or figure 4 stretch. You can stay right here. You can lift left foot off of the ground, interlace the hands at the shin or the thigh and pull in. Hugging your body in and just thanking it for getting up this morning, for breathing for you, for moving with you. Then dropping both of those feet down to the ground and over to the left side. Letting your right palm come out and gazing towards it if that feels okay in your neck, taking a little twist, and we'll come back to center. Letting your left leg come up towards you, walking the hands up that leg, getting a nice hamstring stretch. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Good. We'll point through the toes and then flex through the toes. Point through the toes and flex through the toes, and draw a circle with your foot on the ceiling or the sky. Letting any pops or clicks or sounds be okay as you start to awaken energy in this bottom area of your body. Then flexing the foot, draw that ankle over the right thigh, lift the right foot off the ground and interlace the hands behind the shin or the thigh as you pull in that right leg to stretch in the outer hip of the left side. So we feel some breaking up of that IT band here, which actually is not a muscle, but a bunch of fascia that comes off of the muscles of the hip. It cannot actually be stretched, but it can be broken up and kind of, if you think of it as like a cobweb, we're kind of pulling it apart a bit here. We'll let both of the legs fall over to the right side. Extend left hand out, maybe gaze to the left. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we'll come back to center. Start to rock and roll yourself up to a seated position. We have some geese friends visiting our yoga class. Hello. From here, the lengthened spine will inhale, the hands come up over your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands come up over your head. Exhale, sigh it out. Last one, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Bow your forehead into your fingertips, saying that mantra to yourself again. Sealing in your intention for practicing yoga this morning. Take off that can, whatever it is. You have the power to do it. From here, we're going to start to warm the body a little bit because I'm quite cold. It's like 30 degrees out here. I don't know if I already said that, but we'll bring hands and knees up to the mat. Curl the toes under. Inhale, look up to the sky. Exhale, round your spine. Good little cat-cow. Inhale, belly drops down. Look up. Exhale, chin to chest and round. Good. This time, inhale to send that right leg out. Point the toes down so that your hips are square and reach your left hand out away from you, squeezing everything into your center line for balance. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, bring knee and elbow together. Inhale, reach, extend. Exhale, bring knee and elbow together, little bird dogs. Inhale, reach and extend. Exhale, elbow and knee together. One more like that. Reach and bring. Good. This time, reach and extend. Left hand comes down. Step the right foot in between your hands. Sweep your arms back forward and up, rising into a low lunge. Greeting the morning. Hello. Let that right knee drive forward so you can stretch in the front of the left hip. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down to frame that front foot with your back leg. Step right foot back to meet your left and lower through your chaturanga. Elbows hug in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips rise downward facing dog. From here, lower the knees again. Spread through your fingertips so that you get a good base of the hand. This time left leg will extend back behind you, toes point down. Inhale here, find a lengthened spine. Press into your hands to engage your core. Reach right hand out, inhale. Exhale, elbow and knee come together. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, engage the core. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, engage the core. One more. Linking breath to movement. Good. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, right hand comes down, left knee comes into your nose and steps forward. Arms sweep back forward and up as we drive forward with the left knee. We find a nice stretch on the right hip flexor. Your body might be making the shape of a crescent moon with your right heel, knee, hip, head, and hands. Then we'll come down to frame your left foot. Lift the right leg, step left foot back to meet it. Exhale, chaturanga. Shoulders stay in line with your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips rise, downward facing dog. Good. Hold your down dog here for a couple of breaths. Deep breath in, deep breath out, stretching in those hamstrings. Just saying good morning to the body, good morning to everything around you. And then we're going to add on to that flow a little bit here. Inhale the right leg high to the sky. Now you can bend the knee and open up the hip. Exhale, bring the knee into the nose like you're doing a plank, but the knee is lifted. So inhale, we kick high. Exhale, knee comes into nose and we come forward. We'll do that again. Inhale, come high. Exhale, knee into nose, come forward. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out, step the right foot in between your hands. Soften in your left knee. Inhale, rise up to a full lunge. Little softness in that back knee keeps our pelvic bowl lengthened, our lower back lengthened, our pelvic bowl neutral. Take an inhale here. Exhale, open up into a warrior two. Left heel drops. Front knee poots straight over that big toe. Breathe in. Exhale, pulse a little bit deeper. Inhale, straighten out the leg, reach up with your hands. Exhale and pulse. Inhale, reach up. Exhale and pulse. One more, inhale, reach up. Exhale and pulse. Good, this time inhale, reach up. Hinge both of your toes to come out. So you're pointing out to the side and you're gonna bend in your knees for goddess pose. Get nice and low in those knees. Your elbows are gonna come out to the side in a cactus. My hands are freezing, so we're gonna warm up our hands. Make fists with your hands and then flick water off your fingertips like you're coming in, out, in, out, in, out. We call these flashlights. They're kind of a gymnastic move to strengthen in your hands and forearms and wrists. Flick the water off, flick the water off. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach high. As you exhale, bend the left knee and do a warrior two to the back of your mat. Your right foot's gonna come on an angle so the right pinky toe is parallel to the back of your, or the front of your mat now. Good, then inhale, reach high. Exhale and pulse. Inhale, reach high. Exhale and pulse. Inhale, reach high. Exhale and pulse. One more like that, reach. Exhale and pulse. Good. This time gazing over that left finger, your right hand's gonna sweep down and your right heel will lift so that you're doing a lunge towards the back of your mat. Hips are square to the back of the mat, squeezing in to keep your balance here. Breathe. Exhale, hands come down to frame your left foot. Good. Step your left foot to meet your right. You're in that plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows and lower, chaturanga. When shoulders are in line with your elbows, we point the toes behind us and come up into upward facing dog, shoulders down the back. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Good. We'll inhale to bring the left leg high, bend the knee and open up the hip. Exhale, bring the left knee into your nose, come forward like a plank, engage the core. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, protracting in the shoulder blades, pressing the ground away. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, knee into nose. 2 more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Step that left foot in between your hands. Inhale, soften right knee and rise. We add on again. We have our lunge here. Good. We're going to interlace the hands behind our back, drive the shoulders down and away. Good, hold here and pulse, dipping the right knee down, up for 3, 2, 1. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, open up, warrior 2. Inhale to pulse. Exhale to come into your warrior 2. This time shift both toes in rather than out. Instead of goddess pose, we're going to interlace our hands in that same way. Pull the shoulders down the back and come back into your prasarita padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Good. Let those heels come out and the toes come in. Try to pull the shoulders down and away from the head. Press the base of your hands together. Then release your hands down underneath and in between your feet. Maybe you try to get the head to touch the ground. Good. Inhale to press up into the hands. Come to frame the right foot. Step right foot back to meet your left. Deep breath into your plank. From here, lower your knees. You're going to keep your hips high above your knees, just in this way. Reach your hands back for your heels. When your hands grab your heels, put the crown of your head down on the mat. And that means the crown of your head, the very tallest part of your body, okay? Not where you put your ponytail, not your forehead, but the very tallest part of you will come onto the sand as you roll your hips up and separate your shoulder blades for rabbit pose, sasangasana. Just starting to get a little bit used to feeling the head on the ground. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Separating through those shoulder blades and upper back. Then we'll inhale to sweep the hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and just rest for a moment here in kneeling camel. Just notice as you started to move how much you are connected to your breath. Take a moment to reconnect to everything around you that's here in this moment. And inhale, reach your hands high. Exhale, hands will reach forward to your mat. Curl the toes under, lift the hips. From here, inhale to reach your right leg high, bend the knee, open up the hip. Option to stay here or flip your dog. Stepping right foot behind your left, reach up, stretch through the front body. Look at your left hand. Right hand will come to meet it and step in between as you rise up into your lunge. Inhale. Good. Exhale, hands interlace behind your back. Inhale, shoulders down the back. Exhale, take your pulse for 3. Good. 2, a little harder in the sand. And 1. Inhale, open up into your warrior 2. Exhale, pulse into the knee. Inhale, hands reach high. Exhale, pulse warrior 2. Inhale, hands will come to hips. Frame the center of your mat with your toes. We'll hinge from the hips, and this time the hands are going to come down onto the mat. We're going to have an option for an inversion. So the crown of your head's coming down, just like we just did in that rabbit pose. If you like, bring your right knee in, then your left knee in onto your triceps to find a little shelf for your body. Your hands press into the mat and your elbows are bent like a chaturanga. You might try to bring the knees in together and up towards the sky for your headstand. Option, if you want, when you come down, to bring the knees to the triceps or to come wide. If you come wide, flex at the toes and try to maintain some strength through your lower belly core all the way down. See if you can land your heels before the rest of your feet to maintain that core. Inhale, press into your hands. Exhale, come to frame your left foot. Right knee's going to soften and we rise. Exhale, come down to frame your left foot. Step left foot back to meet your right and you come into that plank pose. Good. Exhale through your vinyasa, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, you'll come into your downward facing dog. Good. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale to lift that left leg high. Last sequence here, bend the knee, open up the hip. Option if you want to flip your dog, stepping left foot about 6 inches behind your right knee. Reach your hips high, look to that left hand. Then shift your gaze back down to the right and step left foot in between your hands. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale, hands behind the back, interlace. Inhale here. Exhale to pulse the knee for Good. 2. 1. Inhale, arms come up, warrior 2. Exhale, pulse in the knee. Come in. Inhale, arms straighten, legs straighten. Exhale, pulse. Inhale, straighten out the leg, hands come to hips. Last time in this Prasarita Padottanasana. So our toes pull in towards the center line. Our hands will come down. You can take that same variation where your hands come down and your knees come to the triceps, or if you want, interlace your hands as we've been doing. Bring the crown of the head down and just lean forward. You might need to walk the feet back a little bit. As you lean forward, you might come up onto the big toes and find a little bit of space and lift here, and then come back down, and that's okay, and you just play around with that. Good morning, geese. And then from here, if you want, you can try to keep leaning forward into your forearms, lifting the heels. Maybe your legs stay straight, or maybe they bend a little bit. That's okay too. You keep pressing into your forearms as the legs come out to the side and up to the sky, and you come down. And it might not look like that today. That's okay too. It might just be getting a little bit of that lean. You come up onto the big toes and exhale, come back. We'll come to frame the right foot. Step your left foot this time to meet your right and come back down to a seat. And when you get to your seat, we're gonna inhale to pull the shoulders down and back, interlace your hands, exhale to press the hands away and sink back. We'll come down onto our spine and just hug both knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Body should feel a little bit more warm now. And then let the feet come down onto the mat. Ending with a little bridge pose here. Press into your feet to lift your hips. Interlace the hands behind your body. Squeeze the palms together. Press into your big toes and breathe. Option to stay in your bridge or step left foot down. Bring the right knee in and kick the right foot to the sky for one-legged bridge. Ekapada, Setubandha, Sarmakasana. Start to let the right ankle cross over left thigh, creating that figure 4 shape. And exhale to lower your hips down. Let both of your legs come over towards the left side, taking your twist. And reach your right hand away. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Twisting and wringing out. And just noticing. And slowly start to come back to center. You could hug your knees into your chest. Thank your body for everything that it gave you in this morning's little mini practice. And it gives to you every day. And then let the feet come down onto the ground. Good. Lift the hips for your bridge pose. You can modify this by bringing your hands to support your hips or putting a block underneath your hips. If you'd like to take that one-legged bridge, right foot will come down, left knee will come in, and we'll kick to the sky. And start to cross left ankle over right thigh, creating that figure 4 shape. Hips come down. Both of your legs will drop over to the right side as you reach left hand out for a little chest stretch. Your gaze can look at that left hand if it feels okay in your neck, and if it doesn't, that's okay. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out, feeling that stretch across your body. Thinking of your body like a wet towel and you're just wringing out. And then whatever happens to the body, we know also happens in the mind because they are so connected. So you might ask yourself if there's any thoughts, fears, limiting beliefs, something that's stopping you that maybe has even served you in the past that you'd like to let go of as you unwind and come into your Shavasana. When you come into your Shavasana, your final meditation, you can rest and lay here. Maybe put your hands on your body so that you can come back to your breath and just start to scan your body for where you can relax and release more. Start to notice where your body is connecting to your mat or the floor beneath you. grounding down and scanning the body for where it can relax more and where it can rest more. And you can make a little wiggle in your toes or your fingers or do any adjustments you need to do, and then we're going to try to come into stillness. There's a quote that says, "There's something to be said for letting things become still, like the way the morning fog burns off the lake."